welcome to another episode of Altar Call MAFS. I'm your host, Tane. With me is my co host for the rewatch of Married at First Sight, Season 9, Jen. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm gonna be real honest with you, Tane. I made a decision when I was 49 and 360 days old that 50-year-old me completely regrets.
Oh, yeah. The bear versus. Go ahead.
No. It was so when I was 49 and 360 days year old, my husband's like, let's go get up at 4 o'clock in the morning so we can see a sunrise over this ancient temple in Cambodia. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And today is that day that I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I am 50 and I'm tired.
But you did it, though.
I did it. It was lovely. And apparently, one of the temples was featured in Lara Croft Tomb Raider. So it was a thing. The line was long, but it was cool. So I did the thing. This is our first day out in Cambodia since my husband's surgery. So I took one for the team, but your girl's real tired.
You said my husband's surgery casually. Do the people know what happened? I don't think they do.
And I can tell the story, but visually we are a hot mess. So I have my back brace on from my surgery back in June, and then husband, ironically, while you and I were taping MAFS a couple weeks ago, fell off a bike and broke his elbow, and so he has since had surgery in a foreign country for his elbow, which he has, I don't even know how many stitches. His arm is in a cast. He's on medication. And, people do what people do when they're on vacation and they don't always look where they're walking and they bump into people. So we've been inside to avoid people bumping into us, both him and I. And so today was the first day that we ventured out in almost 2 weeks. So, yeah.
Because you're still in a brace, right?
My brace is removable, but I'm in a brace for 3 months after my spine fusion surgery. So the two of us walking down the street with my brace and his arm in a sling, oddly, people have really rolled with it. They've chalked it up to a motorcycle accident because that happens frequently with tourists in Southeast Asia, where people
Yeah.
just, think they can ride a motorbike and woo, the asphalt tells them differently. So I think they really just chalk it up to us being in motorcycle accidents and are real casual about
I mean, it's not called GNS Adventures for nothing,
it.
because that's
No.
an adventure and a half. Okay, I can't believe both of y'all have had. There's been two surgeries
Yeah.
in the last couple of months.
This was not on our 2025 bingo card. This was not on our slow travel bingo card. This is just rolling with what life gives you.
Yeah, what is life without it lifing?
And
So
take care of your
yeah,
body,
now,
kids. Take your
yeah, now.
take your calcium.
Well, I'm grateful you're still able to record with me as we round up the season. I feel like we just started, and somehow we're almost done. And we have, after this episode, which will be episode 13, we have one more regular episode and then the reunion. That is crazy.
I cannot wait to see what some of these people have to say for themselves at this reunion.
I think that would be fun. I mean, speaking of that, I am trying to see if I can get anyone. So I don't know who I may or may not be able to get. It could be 0, could be 1, could be 2. But send in any questions you have for any of the cast, and then if I'm able to get them, I will ask questions. But y'all know where to send it. It could be, if you're on Patreon, send it through there. If you are on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, anyone, I'll get it. Email, just sending any questions that you may have. And it's always nice because I always say, like, it's not me asking. They asked that question in case it's a difficult question. So I can use you guys as alibi for that. So, okay, just a few announcements to let you know that on Patreon, you ask and I listened, and I'm providing micro-sized challenge recaps. Again, I'm saying micro-sized. The first episode wasn't. Maybe I should say bite-sized. That sounds better. The first one wasn't because I was providing some kind of history about the challenge. Jen, did I convince you last week to watch this season?
No, but I love
Oh
you.
my god. But you should watch. I promise. It is really good. I think it's like a good watch. Okay. All right. So you can check that out on Patreon. On my other podcast, and just like that is also wrapping up. We have one episode, so you can join that. We will make an announcement. I think we have decided what we are going to be rewatching. So the whole purpose of the podcast is like we are rewatching stuff, and you can just join us for the ride. So we did Sex in the City, and then we did And Just Like That while we were rewatching Sex in the City, and Just Like That came back, and so we just threw that in a pot. So now that's wrapping up. We are going to be watching something else. So it's nice. I like all the commentary, and thank you for joining me over there. Love is Blind UK is coming out, and I will be covering that on the main feed with Brian from MAFS Virgin. And I think that's about it. It's just my usual every week. Join the Patreon for bonus episodes. And sometimes it's not always reality TV. Last week I covered a documentary. And if you don't want to join the Patreon, you can join for free. And you can just join the chat. And that's okay too. All right. I have a little bit of maths updates, just very few, not much. But MM and Brandon are expecting a baby, and the baby is due Valentine's Day 2026.
Yay! Go
Yeah,
MM.
I am happy for them, especially after a pregnancy loss. So this must be very exciting, and we wish them all the best. Like Maps is just booming with babies lately.
Oh, what's in the water?
Nicole and Chris are in Chicago, and so they met up with other Maps family people. There was a picture with Camille and Thomas, Madison and David, and Emily.
I had to zoom in because I was like, understand this couple, understand this couple, understand this couple. Is this the waitress? Like, who is this woman? And then zoomed in, was like, oh, why would you want to be there? Like, what do you have to contribute to this conversation? But all right, you do you, Em.
Listen, when Nicole guested on the podcast, we talked about the whole, because, Camille is Switzerland with both people. Like, she's friends with Michelle. She's also friends with Madison and David. And I'm like, how would that work? Because I was like, God is still working on me. I don't know that I can be, that friendly. And Nicole was like, you have to remember that how many weeks prior, I did not know these people. And so she has to look at it from that point of view. And she's not going to pick sides. Like, if I get along with you, I get along with that. It is what it is, and that's how, you know, she operates. And I'm only saying that because I was still taken aback. I don't know why I'm not used to it. When I saw Camille and Thomas and Madison and David, I was like, wait, Michelle. Then I was like, oh wait, there's a whole time has passed, things have passed, and everybody moves differently. So yeah. What would you do, Jen? I don't know if we've discussed this. Like, if you were in that friend group and that whole thing happened, how do you think you would handle it? I don't think, by the way, I just want to say I don't think it's wrong. I'm just saying, like, it still takes me a moment because, again, God is still working on me. But how would you handle it?
I don't know. I don't think there's got to be a difference between maths world and, regular world, because
Yeah.
again, there are these people that have gone through this experience. We don't know what it's like, yada, yada, yada. They bond in a very different way. So I will give them grace that I just don't know what that experience is like. In real life, no, I pick sides, and I pick sides against the person that is absolutely, wrong. If you did your partner dirty, I'm here to support the partner that got done dirty. And I'm sure David and Madison are a good time. I'm sure they're super fun to have at dinner, but I would feel some kind of way if I was Michelle and you were friends with both. And so I'm not going to tell you to choose, but I know that if I was Michelle, would have a very different approach and a level of comfortability, which was a word I hate, but a
Yeah.
level of comfort with you, knowing that you're still
Friends with it.
communicating,
Yeah.
and not, it's not like, oh, I saw you at a game. No, y'all went to dinner. So you have some kind of relationship. This isn't like we ran into each other at a kinetic thing. This was, no, y'all planned to do this, which is real different. So That's how I feel about it. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm a side picker.
Yeah, I don't think there's any right or wrong, honestly, because if we all did the same thing in the world, it would be kind of crazy. And I just want to point out that I do think it's different for I was just sharing, because I did talk about it, and I think my guest that week was Nicole, and I think it's a completely different thing for Nicole because she wasn't part of the season, so I think that's
Mm-hmm.
completely different.
Right.
But for Camille that was in the season, I've always wondered, how that is, and she's talked about it a lot too. Camille is just like they spoke to Madison and David and gave them a dressing down, and those were their friends, so it is what it is. But you guys, I'd like to know, how would you handle it if you were Camille during the season and this whole thing happened? I'd like to know.
I would like to think that I'm Charlotte from Sex and the City, and like when she saw Big on the street, and she's like, "I cursed the day you were born." Like I think I would be that friend.
But here's the thing, and that's where I do think Nicole had a point. They've been friends for like 20 years.
Yeah,
These people were just friends for 8 weeks.
8 weeks, long enough. That's
So,
true.
yeah, if not less. So Charlotte, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, mailbag. I am going to share a comment I got from Elisa, longtime listener, about our rewatch. And she said, on first watch, I thought Matt was just a selfish, immature dude and poor Amber. On the rewatch, I think I have a new perspective. I think they're both immature and neither has any idea of what a successful partnership with someone of the opposite sex looks like. He has his basketball teammates, she has her twin sister, and she spends her days with middle schoolers. He's inarticulate.
There we go.
Jeez, get it out. Thank you. And monosyllabic. She's focused on having sex with him, and I think he's staying out so she isn't just demanding sex. What do you think?
I want to be respectful of your listeners and your commentators who take the time to write comments. We all know how I feel about Matt. I think, especially after this week, whoa.
Yeah.
I agree that they're neither one of them is good at communicating with each other. I agree
Hmm.
that Amber's probably using sex to keep him around.
Hmm.
Agree that he spends a lot of time with other people. Um,
Yeah.
don't agree that he's not culpable in a lot of their problems. I think if he gave her something, she wouldn't have to feel like she needed to hang on so tightly.
Oh, that she's culpable? You don't agree that she's culpable? Is that what you said?
Um, I think that she's not. I don't think that Matt is acting from a place where he didn't contribute to what's happening. And I think if he was more involved, she wouldn't have to hang on so tightly. So
Oh, okay.
she's overreacting because he's underreacting.
Okay, got you.
And so if he would and for him to recognize that, he would have to be there. So I don't see a way where Matt is not 80% responsible for what's happening.
Yeah, I can see that. I think the only thing, and that's the thing, when you are blinded, you do different things, and I agree. She's reacting to the crumbs that he's giving her, but I think, yeah, I don't think I can blame her. I was gonna say she's giving him a long leash,
I'm
you
super
know, because,
2:30.
and I
You
think
come home
that's
at
where
2:30 and you still can't do it, bro.
and I think that's where she's culpable, is just like when they tell her all these things, and even after they break the news, and we're going to talk about it today, and she's like, I still want to make it work, and then her
Ugh.
friend is like, why?
Yeah, I was done.
You don't have to make it work, but sometimes when you have your blinders on, you don't see anything else. But thank you. I really appreciate you guys. It's a really nice feeling to know that you guys are listening and watching and took the time to interact. Okay. What are you watching these days?
I'm watching a little bit of everything. So, Perfect Match is wrapping up. And so, very interested to see how that's going to go. We're going to start Wednesday, which is pretty exciting. Actually, I don't know why I like that show so much, but I do. I think I'm gonna start the summer. Uh, I learned I was pretty, or the
Like,
summer I
the
turned
summer
pretty.
turned pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I keep getting a lot of that's popping up at my feed a lot. So I'm going to start
it
that,
is.
much to my husband's chagrin. I think he has zero interest in watching this show, uh, but he's on medication. So here we go.
You might make me watch it because it's everywhere on my feed. And I was chatting with Raven from Bitches Better, and I was like, I'm resisting. And she's like, why? I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to see young people yearn,
Hmm.
but maybe I should just give in and be with the people and find out what all the hype is about. But it's like
Yeah,
3 seasons, isn't it?
I think it's long, but I'm hoping it's one of those like Dawson's Creek kind of teen movies where I don't feel bad about watching the show because they talk adult and they have adult like themes. So I think I'll feel less guilty about it if they are talking like adults, which I feel like a lot of the teen shows are happening now. They're talking more adult than,
Hmm. Well,
Beverly Hills 90210 that I used to watch. But I also, because I'm on a murder kick, watched, is it A Deadly American Murder?
yeah, on
Oh
Netflix.
my gosh.
I
So many
don't.
thoughts.
I watched it, but I don't know if it's that they're not being produced well because they're mass producing all these true crime documentaries. But I still don't know what I think.
It seems pretty cut and dry. I don't know why the jury saw it differently than I saw it, but all right.
Wait,
Those
what is cut and dry? What do you think?
I think she killed her husband and bludgeoned him to death and tried to steal his kids.
Oh man, all these things that are so open, but she's free,
Yeah,
right?
twice. Yeah, she's out. Those
That's
poor
crazy.
kids. The my heart hurts for those
Yeah,
kids. Those kids
yeah.
have
At
been
the
through
end
a
of the
lot.
day, the kids always suffer.
Yeah, a
When
lot.
it comes to them. Okay. All right, we'll take a break and heading on to these Married at First Sight people. And we are back. Okay. I don't think they have anything else to mind. And we probably could have ended the episode now and gone straight to decision day. But we start with the episode. They're still at the couples retreat. And Beth thinks that it was a huge turnaround for her and Jamie. And she was reminded how cool he is. And she's not sure what happened, but the woods, they have magic in them. They coming for breakfast, and Deanna is making grits. And I just want to confess that I'm not a grits girl. Are
I, I,
you?
I'm from. I'm born in New York, raised in Southern California, so grits are not a normal part of my cuisine.
Yeah.
I have had it, but I think I eat it like cream of wheat, where I need it real sweet. So I don't think I'm the best person to ask on this.
on the American side, I'm a Southern girl. It just never clicked with me. And I say this with sadness because the other day someone called me a picky eater, and that made me so sad because I'm like, I'm not picky. But then when I say certain things, I'm like, am I? Am I really picky? I don't want to be a picky eater. I'm the kind of person that will not look at the menu. Like, I'll try anything. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not picky, like in Mexico, I'll try the crickets. Like, that's not a thing for me. Like Deanna and then did. That's not a thing. I can do that. But I'm particular about certain things. Like, the thing that grosses out like my best friend and friends of mine is I don't like milk. I don't like milk. And if I have oatmeal or if I have anything, I don't use milk. And they think it's like the weirdest thing. But
Weird. I don't know. It wouldn't gross me out. I'm not a. I wouldn't call myself a picky eater, but I'm like you. I'm particular. There's some things I like, and there's some things I don't like. And no, I don't want to try it 12 different ways. If I've told you that I don't like beer, don't tell me. Well, you need to try a stout, or you need to. No, I don't like beer. So stop. So I think there's a difference, but I'm not that person that's going to make a weird order. If it's
yeah,
something that it comes that way, then I'm just going to take out the stuff I don't want, or I just won't eat it, or whatever. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. But yeah, there's things I like and things I don't like. And dang it, I'm 50. If I tell you I don't like it, I don't like it.
I mean, I'll try stuff. Like I was watching Real Housewives of OC, and they're in New Orleans, and then they ordered like shrimp and grits, and it just really looked good. And I'm like, maybe I just had the wrong one, because I remember, when I first came. I mean, granted, it was many, many, many years ago, but when I first came to this country, there's new foods and new cuisine, and I was trying out stuff. And I remember the first time I had risotto, I didn't like it, but then I
Mm.
tried it again, and oh my god, it's like the most delicious thing. So. I don't know. I'll try stuff, but I feel like I've tried grits multiple times and it's not for me, but I will try it again one of these
I
days.
do love me some truffle. So maybe if somebody threw some truffle oil in there, that would change it. But just to have it on its own,
I'm laughing because I just told someone I don't like truffle fries. I have tried and tried. It just, and
what?
I'm like, oh, yes, yes. And I'm like, oh my God,
We're done.
I am the drama.
We're done
But
here. I have to go.
I have tried. I was like, why is this? And like, no, just give me my regular fries. I'm good.
Oh
Yeah. So,
no. With Parmesan cheese?
oh
Oh,
no. Ugh, no.
oh, yes.
Greg thinks the retreat was good for them, and I'm watching Greg and Deanna, and I just want to call out all of y'all listening to this. The season is about to end. None of y'all came through for me on what I can use to slick back my hair so it sits as awesomely as Deanna's. And if I'm able to get Deanna, I don't care what anybody's questions are. That is my number one question. Ma'am, how did you get your hair to sit? That's all I need,
She
you
does.
know?
She has great hair. And my whole feeling watching them together was just like, oh, you guys are like the mom and dad of the group. Like you're the ones
Yeah.
that everybody goes to just, I need a calming presence or I trust your advice. Like why is,
Yeah.
Jamie always going to Greg with his stuff? So I feel like they're the mom and dad of the group. Like, all right, kids, let's calm down. Let's think about this rationally. I like them in this mode because mom and dad means they're married. So that's what I'm sticking
I mean, who is it going to go to, Matt?
with. Ugh.
Um, Amber says that she still wants this to work really, really, really bad. And then we see that it is 4 days till decision day. So I'll head on to the couples, starting with Beth and Jamie. Beth is meeting up with her mom and wondering if she can get over some of the things that Jamie has said to her. And they play a flashback of them all. And I said it last week and I'll say it again. I don't know if I will be able to get over some of the things that he said. I just it's crazy when you watch it in a montage.
Yeah.
So
And
go
after
ahead.
this episode, Tane, I'm off Team Jamie. This was wild. And maybe I was prepped with the montage to already have my feelings heightened, but that dinner, bro,
Yeah.
no.
His yeah.
No.
So Beth says that, Jamie's way too emotional and she's just wondering can she live that way for the rest of her life. But the one thing they both have in common, they list all these things that they're worried about and then they go like, but I can't imagine them not in my life. And they have that commonality and that's probably what keeps them, kept them this long or keeps them together. So she asked her mom, how do you feel about him? And her mom is like, he's a nice Southern man and he has things to work on. But Beth is not the easiest either. And I remember watching it in real time and just with different eyes. And it was more like, well, her mom is saying it like, she's not easy to work with. So, just make the best of it. Like, it's not like, and now I don't necessarily think, yeah, she's not the easiest, but I don't think that gives ground for whatever it is that Jamie is doing and saying to her
Yeah.
or the way he's treating her,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
Beth is a lot. Beth is a whole lot. So that's not up for debate. And she does not have reins to bring it back, but I think in her mind that's her superpower. So how can you tell somebody the thing that makes you you should be reined in? You either have to accept her or you don't. And
Yeah.
I think you just have to roll with her. You have to and you have to meet her where she's at or let her go. And that's it.
In an alternate world, Jamie's demeanor is good for Beth if he was using it in the right way, but he's choosing not to. Like he's able to roll with the moon water, the moon rain and things like that. He's able to see like her quirks as cute. He's able to go with that, but it's just when things don't go his way, it just Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and it's just not good
Yeah, and
at
I
all.
said it. I've said it before. I'll say it a million times. Like Jamie's keeping score, and his score is, well, I put up with the moon water, and I put up with this, and I put up with this, and he's keeping track of everything so that when he doesn't get what he wants, he's got all this stuff. Well,
Yeah.
that he unloads on her, which isn't good, which isn't good at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So it's almost like either I'll reward you or I'll punish you for
Exactly.
whatever it is that I'm doing right now. So yeah, her mom says she's not the easiest, but if they love each other, they can work on it. Her mom tells us that Beth is in love with Jamie and they've never seen her like this with anybody other person, that she has had her doubts, but if they do stay together, they're willing to accept him as their son. Jamie meets with Beth's best friend Mario and he asks him, what are the things that you don't like about Beth? And he says they have a lot of fights about sex. And I was like, the sex thing is back up again.
But also, how inappropriate is it to bring that up with her best friend? Where do you think this is going to go?
These are some of the things. It's like, is this producer prompted or were you just like, again, cannot help himself? You already resolved it. We're taking it off the table. Let's build an emotional connection and then see if that bleeds over and that solves whatever this sex problem is. Because again, I ask, what is the sex problem? Because he says one thing today, it's another thing tomorrow. And then he says it, and the other person that's in it, Beth, is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, Jamie is like, oh, TMI. Like, she says things like, your penis is made from my vagina. I'm like, okay, what is your end goal with this? And, but then if he wants to act on it and he wants to fool around, she's like, oh, I'm not in the mood. Mario was like, well, if you're not connecting, why would she want to? One plus one is two. Why, Jamie? Why? That makes sense to me. You're fighting all the time. You call her the C word and you're like, yeah, lay down. Let me put it on you. Basic occasion sex. Why? I just, which is why I keep asking, is there something else that we just don't know about? I don't know. So Mario tells us that they're both are focusing on the wrong things and they're focusing on it the wrong way. And I think he's right.
Mario gets friend of the year on this one because I don't know if I could have just sat there and listened to this bald man talk terribly about my friend and just absorb it. But when he said, you have to like hanging out with each other, I was like, yes. They think that they do, but they don't.
Mm.
And yeah, that was the crux of everything. Like, you have to like hanging out with each other. And Jamie tolerates her. He doesn't enjoy spending time with her. And they need to let this go.
Mm-hmm. So, Beth and Jamie meet up, and Beth starts by thanking him for the experience, that he's one of the most amazing people, and she wouldn't have done this with anyone else. And they talk about not wanting to go back to the negative side. And if you're a vet, if you have watched this a long time, you know that they are going to go to the negative side because it's just what they do. So he's talking about his concerns, and Beth is like, "Oh, okay. What are the concerns?" And he's like, "Well, that we have a couple of concerns, and we don't tend to stick to our boundaries." And I'm like, "Huh?" Then she's like, "Yeah, we've tabled sex in the hopes that we can be on the same page." And he's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be hard because I always follow through, but you don't." Can Jamie talk to Beth without putting her down and
Shots
being
fired.
condescending?
Shots fired. To me, like this could have been decision day because to me it sounds like you made your decision. You're just here to a if you want to have sex with her, her friend just told you like be nice to her, and you're like, nah, I'm just gonna neg her, get her to the bed
Yeah.
that way. What? You're supposed to be the smart one here, sir. Come on.
In some sick way, I'm like, does he get some kind of pleasure in putting her down?
Yes.
Because I don't know. The thing is, we're not privy to what has been shared. And I'm just, if she has shared with him some of her insecurities, then this is pretty damn terrible that you just keep poking and poking and poking at her, you know?
I feel like Jamie just wants to win. I don't think Jamie wants to resolve anything. He just wants to be the winner of this fight. And you win by making her feel badly. I think he now, having been at this for a season, I think he enjoys it when she blows up. And he wants to poke and poke and poke until she does.
What annoys me about him is he does it unnecessarily.
Exactly.
Like, he's just like, well, I follow through. Well, you don't follow through. And like, you talk a lot of game about how sexual you are and you're not. And she's like, oh my God. Like, she looks blindsided
Yeah.
because she thought they were coming in peace. This is their final lunch. And, they're talking things through. And she's like, you don't think that I'm sexual? He's like, oh God, no. As he's eating his food, like, not in the very least. Like, why do you have to say it that way? Like, even if you want to convey that, you could be like, oh, I don't think like our sexual appetites match. Like, I feel like I need more sex more than you do or something. But like, to be all hoity-toity and be like, yeah, you just talk a lot of game. You're just pretending. You're not in the least. And his tone is so condescending. And this is after the conversation with her best friend, where the best friend explained to you that she needs an emotional connection to open up. So I'm telling you, one of the most terrifying things in this rewatch is Beth saying, sometimes I just have sex with him so he'll shut up. That
That's
is
scary.
terrible.
That's scary. And that lets you know how many times
Oh
he's
my
bugger about it. If Beth has to sit on your face to shut you up, like,
God. She said, sit on your face.
bro, it's this whole thing is so bad. And
Yeah.
I totally switched. It's taken me 13 episodes to get here, but she does not deserve any of this at
No,
all. There's
none.
nothing, and I don't know what flipped it for me, but I was just like, you're a terrible person who thinks you're a good person, which makes you a
Yes.
more terrible person.
I think I wrote down what an asshole because
Yeah.
again, he's one of those scary people. You know those people where men are like speaking very quietly. I don't know if anyone watched Love and Hip Hop or Couples Therapy. Joe Budden is my first example that comes up with this. He's just saying things like calmly, so you think he's being rational and all
Hmm.
that, and like you're the crazy one. But you that knows him know that he's riling you up and he's saying things and pushing your buttons. And then when you react, you become the crazy person, and then you become the person that's like out of control.
Hmm.
And that's what it really reminds me of. It's just like eating your food calmly and telling this woman like you are, especially someone who had said, oh, I feel like you're just using me for sex, and oh, I'd like to know you. Ugh, I'm just going in circles, but this was really, really
This is bad.
annoying.
This is
Yeah,
bad.
it
I
was really
feel like
annoying.
we need, what was that easy button that they had on that Staples? Like,
Extracted.
we need like a, hey, call the experts or extract her, do something other than let these two stew in this
Yeah.
anger. This was bad.
And I just thinking back at it, again, maybe it was done off air, but they really should have done more, Dr. Viviana, whoever it was that she told, to bring that up in conversation and be like, Jamie, your wife should never feel like she has to have sex just for you to shut up if she doesn't want to. Like, how do you feel about that? I know Jamie's gonna flip it and be like, I didn't force her to, I didn't
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah.
something like that, but let it be brought to his attention. So, anyways. So he says that, he's frustrated because, she does all these things. She wants to be sexy. But then when he tries to act on that, because I know she wants to feel desired, she shuts him down. And he just wants to, he says he wants to be an adult and recognize the circumstance. Like, I'm just, who wouldn't dry up knowing all the things that you've said? I just don't see how he's so tunnel vision and focused on himself. And he can't blame it on not knowing because Beth has been anything but very clear, unless my memory served me wrong. Has she been clear to the experts but not to him? But I do think that she's been clear to him about where she stands regarding that.
No, but and maybe she needed to be firmer with that boundary. But you're trying to build relationship with your partner and still be flirty, which is why she says the thing about whatever she said. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But and I wish, and I'm somebody that in the heat of an argument, I can't get my thoughts together, and maybe Elizabeth is the same way. But when he said that you just don't follow through with what you said, I wish she was able to kind of like pan out and go, okay, other than sex, where do you see that happening? And maybe
Mm.
shift the conversation somewhere else, because I think if you get stuck in this, like, is this just about sex or is this me universally? Because there's some things I can potentially fix in this relationships and there's something that I can't. But also to get him out of this one subject and to get him out of this one focus, I wish he had had the energy and not have been so riled up to say, okay, in what other circumstances do you see me not following through with what I said? And see where he took that.
But even keeping it to sex, I do think she was kind of in a rock and a hard place because it's not like again that she doesn't want to have sex with him. Like, let's not get it twisted. I mean, I could be wrong. My interpretation is that is not that she doesn't want to have sex with him, but it's creating so much havoc within their relationship that it's not a bad idea to build a foundation so that they can withstand whatever it is that they're dealing with. And also, what's worse, if she doesn't have sex with him, he's gonna be like, well, I'm not having sex, I'm not getting my needs met, I'm not trying to do that. Because she's kind of similar to Amber in that way, where it keeps him together. Because I think at least when they do have sex, it is good. And that's why he wants more of it. And that's why she's giving it to him. But then if she does do it, she feels like she's betraying herself and we're not keeping the boundaries where we are, but she wants to do it to show like, hey, we're in good standing. And it just feels like a complicated lose-lose situation for her. But in her mind, she's like, at least he's getting some kind of sex.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, it's never enough for him.
And I guess you compared her to Amber, and I think I want to compare her to Iris in this situation to be like, okay, you've said that you want to take sex off the table, but what is it that she hasn't, I don't think, at least we haven't seen it on camera, articulated what she needs from him to make her feel more intimate. And I don't know if he knows what that is. And I don't know if she knows what that is. And I don't know if that's even possible where they are right now. But like, what does that look like? Because I think early on she said, I want you to bring me flowers. And I don't remember him other than that one time.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't seen him bring her flowers. So other than him like kikiing with her dogs, I don't see him doing anything that would make her comfortable. And maybe
Yeah,
she's got to remind him of those things, because if he wants it that bad, I think he'll put in a little bit of effort if
yeah.
she reminds him. But there, this is towards the end and it might be too late. But if for some weird, I can't even imagine they would stay together, that would have to happen.
Hmm. Yeah, he says that it's the broader conversation of needs, wants, and expectations, and he feels led on. I don't know how this man made this thing about him, but it's just, it's so annoying to watch. Beth is so taken aback and is like, I have never received ultimatums about sex before. And she's like, there are things that I need to think about this. Like, this could possibly be our last date night. And he's like, really? It could be? And just in that tone, like, ugh, you are not on Succession. Stop it. So they're back on the couch the day before decision day, and they recount the mean stuff that they have said to each other. And the day comes for them to leave. And I don't know, throughout the episode, I don't know how they decided who gets to leave the apartment or not, but Beth is the one leaving the apartment. And Jamie wonders, like, if they love each other, why are things so hard? And do they even know how to love each
No, I got the answer. Call on me. My hand is raised. No.
other? Yeah. All right, guys, taking a break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Let's go with Deanna and Greg. Um, Pico is back. Pico is Greg's friend. And let me tell you, the first time Pico came, I was trying to see who he reminded me of. I was like, this man reminds me of someone. Who is it? And it came to me on this episode. And it is Jeremy. Jeremy from Survivor. Also, well, people might know him from Traders. The last season of Traders also. They look alike, sound alike, and Let me know if you agree, if you know who Jeremy
I have
is.
no clue who you're talking about, but I trust.
So Pico asks things that make him think that does he want this forever? What are the things that make him think that he wants to be with her forever? And he's like, she cares, she opens up, she does the little things like when I come back from work, and she's basically showing me that she's a woman who will be there for me. Pico asks, what are the difficulties? She's like, well, they don't really share feelings because Deanna doesn't like to share her feelings. They get progress when they hear from the experts. But and she's doing better, but is it enough? And they're not gonna have the experts forever. So how do they solve that? Pico tells us that his dream scenario is that they stay together and then they have kids and then he inherits all the stuff that they married men usually inherit. I mean, I guess. And then Pico asks why they haven't said I love you, and he's like, I don't know. They're taking their time to get there. And then Pico was like, but you've already smashed. And Greg is like, okay, that's my wife. You're going to stop all of that. We're going to speak with some respect. And he was like, okay, fine. But then how does Deanna view that? And he's like, we're good. We're A plus. We're great. And Pico is like, okay, that's good. I will add that a song comes on, and the lyrics of the song is, if you want to do it harder, faster, if you want to be an everlaster, you better do it like a girl.
I have no response to that.
When we first started this podcast, I just always used to be so focused on the lyrics because I'm like, where are they coming from? I think I had a guest who said they have people who just, or AI or something. Well, I don't know if AI was back then during the season, but people who just, they tell them what the scene is, they just come up with like these little songs that you can just purchase from a library or something. But I'm like, who sat down? I was like, you want to do it harder, faster, want to be an everlaster, do it like a girl. Okay, you know what? You like it, I love it.
I mean,
Um,
that sounds like points for Deanna. So I don't hate it, but also what? And I also, did you feel like the majority of this conversation was basically a redo of the one they had before? Like, other than the I love you piece, I was like, y'all had the same conversation the first time.
I wonder if it was the same day. No, it was a different place. Actually, it was a different place. So
Go ahead, hat on this
it's
one.
basically they're basically grasping at straws for Deanna and Greg. It's the same conversation. You don't open up. You don't do this. You don't what. And I'm like, I mean, we got to get content, so we'll sit through it, sure. But yeah, Deanna meets with her cousin and her friend, and they asked if they are making out, like not kissing, but like making out. And honestly, it's a valid question. I think when you've been with someone for so long, you forget about, like, people talk about this, like making out. Like you just like, oh, okay, bye, I love you, mwah, and you just give a little kiss. But so I think it was valid enough about making out, especially since they're newlyweds who are strangers. So where do they fall on that spectrum? And if they had done more. And now I'm with you, Jen. I did put in my notes, I wonder if this was shot earlier because they're excited that they've had sex. And I'm like, that's old news, guys.
Been there, done that. Come on.
So I'm not gonna waste you guys' time. I'm not gonna. They keep doing this whole. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know why they're making them ask when they're not allowed to say what their thing is. All she says is that she doesn't love him yet. They're up to 3 reallys where she really, really, really likes him, but she doesn't love him yet. They're celebrating their last night with wine and playing pool and more. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying either. What is this? So, it wouldn't be Greg if it didn't turn into a game. So Greg is like, if you hit a ball, ask a question. I'm surprised he didn't ask for a kiss or something. But some of the questions were, what are your favorite things about her? He likes her playful personality. What is your favorite moment? Their 1 month anniversary. What are the things that she likes about him? She's like, she likes that he lets her be the big spoon, and he doesn't like the jokey answer. He's like,
Yeah.
she's not taking it seriously. Like, do you love me? And I'm like, oh, that was his last question was, do you love me? And I'm like, they make a whole production and there's music and she's staring into space and she's like, honestly, I don't know. I'm like, ugh, guys.
I mean, I'm hoping she's saving it for decision day, which is what I took away from it was that she's there. She's going to say it to him. They're just building it up to make decision day be more dramatic because they have no issues. I mean, he wanted an adventurous wife. He got an adventurous wife. They're both overthinkers, but they both recognize it and talk about it. Like there's no I said it last week. There's no there there. These two are fine. Like, are they having some um, growing pains? Yeah, because you have to do this accelerated thing in 8 weeks, but they're doing it really well. I mean, and I don't
Yeah.
know if it's compared to the other people that they're around, or if they truly are doing it really well. But there's no notes. Like they're doing extremely well. If this is their biggest problem is she needs more time, all right, stay together and have more time.
I've never understood couples that think that you have to say I love you before you can say yes. It's a weird, unusual circumstance. You're in front of cameras. It is 8 weeks. You've not been in like regular world enough to get to know. So I don't know why it's always a thing. I'm currently watching Love is Blind Sweden, and there's a couple where the guy's like, if you don't say that you love me, we can't say yes on the wedding day. Like you have to be in love to get married. I'm like, no, you don't, but
No, no.
so Deanna is the one who leaves the apartment and she says she feels okay, but getting a divorce is going to be the worst case scenario.
Can I give my boyfriend Greg, the poet, a little shout out there? I like when he was talking to his friend and he said, you know, we've got the good, we've got the or no, he said we've got the bad, we've got the ugly, but we still have to work on the good. So I was like, oh, look at you, little
Who
poet.
said that, Greg?
Greg said it. He was like, we're really good at managing the bad. We're really good at managing the ugly. We just have to talk about the good. And I think that's just him overthinking her not being as enthusiastic and, uh, affectionate as him. But I like the way he put it.
Yeah.
It was something digestible that didn't make me
Yeah.
angry. It was like, okay, this is what you're experiencing. And
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh, I don't know how I missed that. That's pretty nice.
Poetic. I'm like, you go, G.
Keith meets up with his mom. And my first thought is, does he have no friends? Like, why are you meeting with your mom? I know he met with the friend once, but I'm like, why are you meeting with your mom again? We've seen you have so many conversations. Like, it's not even with your dad, it's with your mom. So it's the same deal. He has so many thoughts. Is she my soulmate? And he's allegedly on the fence, and he is hesitant to talk to his mom about the sexual immaturity because it's about sex, and at 27 he feels like Iris should be more comfortable talking about sex. And I'm like, yeah, you're hesitant, go get you friends to talk to. And I thought about it and I was like, have we ever seen him flat out have a conversation with Iris asking her why she's uncomfortable talking about sex?
We have it on camera, no.
Because
Which
that would be interesting, because Iris is out there really thinking that the problem is that he wants to have sex and she can't give him sex and she's not ready, when his problem seems to be that she's like childish about it and doesn't seem like she's comfortable. So it's going to be a while. Because I mean, again, not to speak for Keith, I don't think he has a problem with her being a virgin, but I think he wants to feel like when it is time, it's not going to be this huge, long, okay, wrong words. It's not going to be it's it's not going to be this big production and be a whole thing, and especially if you're uncomfortable doing certain things, which again, hot and cold. When she committed to the process, when they had to kiss, when they had to do the dancing, when she had to do the body paint, Iris didn't seem like she was reserved or shy. She seemed like, I'm in it. But then when they had to talk about it, she visibly looked like she had hives on there. So getting a better grasp of what it is, I think he might have done her a disservice by not being just flat out and being honest and saying it out loud that we
and
saw, I
yeah,
guess.
and I feel like a broken record saying this, but I think he wants to know that that they're going to make progress. Like, I don't think he needs them to be intimate tomorrow, but I think he needs some reassurance that it's going to progress. And again, that
Mhm.
whole episode was at last week talking about intimacy and sharing secrets, and she can't even do that. So how are they
Mhm.
going to get to a place like where they can be comfortable? He keeps saying she's not emotionally mature, and I think that's what he's looking for. I don't think he's looking for sex, but she's reduced it to that. He's not looking for her to have sex, and she keeps asking it like, is me
Yeah.
being a virgin going to be a problem? And he finally was like, yeah, but I think it's because she's not asking the right question, but also he's not asking the right question. But I think it's
Mhm.
because he's trying to be polite, and I think he's trying to give her space. And I think that he is like you said, between a rock and a hard place about, I
Mhm.
want to be able to progress with this person because they do have a lot to some degree in common, um where he's going to have to push her in some places, but she's supportive in other places. So I think they've got a good foundation, but she's got to figure out what this means. And I don't think he feels comfortable telling her because she doesn't have that maturity, which is too bad because I think if they could get there, they'd be a great couple.
Yeah, as my husband likes to say, truth and love have to coexist in a healthy relationship. So if he's tiptoeing around it, if she's tiptoeing around it, they're not being honest.
Yeah. And
So,
they don't have time to play, you have
yeah.
8 weeks.
Hmm. He tells his mom that he's ready to accept whatever her decision is going to be. On Iris's end, her friend and her mom comes over to the apartment. I mean, I guess I could say the same thing, like where her friends, but she does have one friend come over in addition to her mom. So Iris actually says that she knows what her decision is because her friend was like, "Do you know what you're going to say?" And I was rolling my eyes, being like, again with this question when they can't say it. When she was like, "I mean, I know my decision. I want to stay married." I'm like, "Oh,
I know,
okay."
I was surprised too.
She's allowed to say it. So her mom says that the relationships in the past for her have been so difficult. I was like, oh, that would have been nice for us to hear through the season what those relationships were and how far, what capacity and how deep or how long were the relationships? Like, are we talking 6 months? Are we talking a year or two? I don't know. Are we talking situationships? I don't know. So she has enough reassurance to not really think about saying no, is what Iris says. She says if sex is a determining factor, she would be devastated because of how much energy she has put into it. Just PSA, ladies. How much energy you put into a relationship doesn't mean you have to stay if it's not working.
Amen.
Just FYI.
Amen.
So she hopes he says yes because she has not given him a reason not to say yes. And I found that really funny. I just the way they both have different interpretations of their relationships because they are not speaking honestly to each other is kind of funny to me.
This would have been a great place for production to do a montage of her with the lemonade, of her with the tequila, of her being like, "You can't tell me what to do." That would have been a great place for clarity.
Oh, and a quarter for your biggest secret.
Oh.
And they're both on their final date, and goddamn, I gotta say it again. Most attractive MAFS couple. They both look so pretty, like
I
together.
I wanted her necklace so bad. I don't know what it was about it. It was just dainty and delicate, but had that little lariat. I was like, "Ooh, I need that necklace." But also, I like what she's doing with her hair too, with the braid over
Yeah,
the top and the poof in the back. I was like, "Ooh,
yeah.
love it."
So Keith says if he was going to get married to a stranger, this is about as good as it would get. She asks if her virginity is still a thing, and he says, "Yeah, it's an obstacle." I'm like, oh God. But we've learned so a lot about each other, and they cheers to doing a hell of a good job during the marriage. When it's time to leave, Keith is the one that's leaving the apartment, and Iris is trying not to freak out. She tells him that she has the same feelings that she had the day before the wedding. It's the same flutters, same anxieties, just different circumstance. They do kiss each other goodbye, and that was that for them.
Yeah. I wonder if she left him with a bad taste in her mouth because she was real dramatic about, I'm never going to see you again. He's like, it's one night. I'm going to see you tomorrow.
And you make a good point. Is like in some way, unfortunately, their marriage was reduced to just her sexuality. There was not much else thought put into other things besides so much responsibility. And I just don't know how they could work. It was like, when you put someone in a friend zone and you don't know how to work yourself out of that. I think they put themselves into that, oh my God, you're a virgin. Oh my God, you're a virgin. That I don't know how there was any way to come out of that without just focusing on that. Because the person who has the virginity, ordinarily, you're like, I'm more than just my virginity. But I think Iris is like, this is my person. I don't know, maybe just for the show. Hopefully not in real life. But this is my personality, and this is all we're going to talk about. I don't know.
Is this going to be her post show crusade where she's going to be a speaker at like virginity conferences? She's going to keynote and she's going to come out with an Iris virginity ring. And this is where she
It's
makes.
MAFS, Jen. It's MAFS at the end of the day. Okay, so our final couple is Amber and Matt. Matt meets with his best friend Devon. He is telling Devon that he's happy and proud at how much they've put into it, and that there was chemistry from the beginning, and that helped them build a foundation. I'm laughing because Matt is proud that he came home before 2:30. This is my interpretation, because what did he put into it? He says there was chemistry from the beginning and that helped them build a foundation. But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they take sex off the table so they could see if they had a foundation?
Uh-huh. And
So
we still don't know whose idea that was. And I really wish we got some insight into who had the brilliant idea to pull that off the table. I think your uh, idea was that it was Matt because Matt's been creeping, but I would want to know.
So, to his credit, his friend does say, I mean, you have a communication issue. And then this looks like they pre planned this. He throws in a, oh, yeah, the other day you were like, oh, shoot, I forgot to text Amber. So, why didn't you just text her after you said it out loud? I don't know what the plan was with this. But he tries to say, like, oh, they just met. It takes time to build trust and communication. I'm gonna ask you one more time, Matt. Why did you sign up for the show?
Yeah. When
Because it's needed.
when White Devon is the voice of reason in your life, you need to examine your choices.
So it's annoying that her mind went to the worst case scenario, but it's because you did not communicate. This man says that she is too clingy and he doesn't have the urge to be with her all the time. He just doesn't.
The way I gasped when he said that out loud, my husband's like, "Are you okay?" No, I'm not okay. But again, it's the same thing with Jamie. Like, there's a reason why she's clingy. And did you not learn when Dr. Pepper came to you and said, what's the worst thing you can do to somebody with abandonment issues? Abandon them. And he did not
Mm,
learn from that at all. She's clingy because you're not around.
yeah.
If you're around and you text her and you come home, she will leave you alone.
Yeah.
Try
She's
it.
not asking for much.
No, she's asking for literally nothing. She wants you to come home. That's it.
Hmm. They go for their final date, and Amber just still looks sad. There's a sadness that's around her, and it's not gone. But it's also funny to see how Amber always dresses up for their dates, even when it's in the house, and he just dresses up like he's gonna go pick something up from the grocery store. So they ask, "What do you like about marriage?" And Matt is like, "Oh, I like having someone in your corner, someone to do stuff with." I'm like, "Okay," which is why you keep leaving her alone to go do stuff with your friends. So they go back home, and Amber is the one that's leaving the apartment. She's crying and she's saying, like, even though he has done disrespectful things, she still likes him and doesn't want to give up. And I'm like, oh no, baby girl.
Let it go. Let
We
it
cannot want
go.
this man so bad.
Yeah, we need somebody bring in Frozen. You need to let it go. I can't.
Did you see someone sitting in the hallway
No,
while they were saying goodbye?
no.
I don't know if it was production. I don't know if it was just someone from the apartment. Someone was just sitting in the hallway, just yakking away on their phone. Not they were typing on their phone, but just sitting there on there. Okay, so we get a round robin of all the couples doing a selfie cam of how they're feeling with decision day around the corner. And then we see Raven, who is Amber's friend. And my bad, y'all. Last week I called this man Trent. I Raven, when she told Matt, I'm going to stay with Raven, I thought it was like, oh, we met Raven. I thought it was a girl. And I'm so sorry. I called him Trent the entire time, but apparently it's Raven.
I like
So
Trent better, actually.
Trent is somebody else's friend, but I can't remember who it was. So she says that Raven gives the world's best advice. And I'm like, does he or does he have secret intentions? I don't know. Because Raven, I'm sure they're just friends. Raven just gives intentions like he really loves him some Amber. So he shares that he was at a bar and saw Matt with another girl, and they were definitely focused on each other. She is sitting in the chair looking so sad. I did wonder, Jen, I don't know if this was the first time that Amber was hearing this. And like, has she heard about it? But they had to recreate it because remember, this came after she had moved out of the
I
apartment.
Yeah, her tears and the papasan were weird. The fact that if he is indeed her best friend, why aren't you comforting her when she's losing it? I thought that was strange. So I that whole scene was really weird
Yeah.
to me, but I just I want her to be happy again. I miss her smile. They flash back on them on their honeymoon where they pinky kissed, and I was like, what happened to this couple? Like, what happened to this guy? What happened to this girl? Where they had pure just fun and joy,
It
and
was lust,
I'm
Jen. It was lust. It was lust. So she says that even though she's hearing this, she hates the idea of giving up and she wants this to work so badly and she doesn't want to believe it. She is sobbing, like flat out bawling, sobbing, and is like, why can't he be honest? And she wonders what he has been doing. Raven tries to comfort her and tells her, like, you don't have to feel this way. Like, you have decision day that's coming and you can make a choice. In a confessional, he tells us that it did not feel good to tell his best friend this, and he is crying as well as he tells us that. So, like you, Jen, I don't know why he didn't hold her. He just stared at her while she sobbed in the chair. And she sobbed her heart out, and he just sat there and watched her. She gets up and walks away, and she's saying, I don't want to do this shit. And that is how the episode ends.
And I'm thinking maybe we think he has feelings for her because he's treating her like a human. It was just, we're seeing her being treated well and listened to and cared for and seen in a way that she hasn't been with Matt all this time. So maybe we're falsely attributing just basic kindness as interest. But I want more for her. I wanted her to be mad. I wanted her to be like, nope, I'm done. And the previews for Decision Day make me nervous because she's not as angry as I need a girl who just found out her man was creeping with somebody else needs to be. So I don't know.
Okay, so you know that I know what happens. So
Yes.
I'm going to take your predictions right now
Ooh.
and we will compare what happens.
Okay.
So, what are your predictions for Greg and Deanna?
I think they're both going to say yes. I think she will say, I love you at Decision Day.
Okay. What is your prediction for Matt and Amber?
I think Amber will say yes, and Matt will say a smooth no.
What is your prediction for Beth and Jamie?
I think Beth will say yes, and Jamie will say no.
Okay. And Keith and Iris.
We already know Beth or Iris said she's going to say yes. I think Keith will say no.
Okay. I shall keep this in the vault. And we shall see how well you do. And just a reminder, guys, if you have any questions for any of them, because I don't know who I'm going to be able to get or not, send them over and I will include that for them. In the meantime, Jen, can you share with people where they can see your adventures, including your lovely sunrise?
Our lovely sunrise at Anchor Wat, which was featured in the Lara Croft Tomb Raider series. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at jns.adventures.
You know where to find me, guys. It is also called MAFS, ALTARCALLMAFS on Instagram, on Blue Sky, on Twitter, and on Threads. I also talk about other shows, mostly on Threads now. Please give me a 5-star rating if you're so inclined and stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Until the next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.